All right, today on this little pep talk for you, we are talking about the kind of mom that you want to be. Because I think that sometimes this is like my belief and was my experience in the beginning of motherhood. It was that I lived in my home for 18 years and then I got pregnant at 18 and immediately moved in with my husband when we got married. And so my experience was that I didn't really know what kind of parent I wanted to be, who I wanted to be. Like, I feel like we kind of have this idea growing up of like things that we don't like, things that we do. But then sometimes we move out of the house and we just continue going through the motions of life and we never stop to really reevaluate. And this was my case. I was doing mom life kind of how I was raised. I yelled a lot. I was the reactive mom. I was overwhelmed all the time, not very patient. And I really didn't understand or know like why I was being that way because inside I felt like, oh my gosh, I want to be like the fun mom. I want to be the mom that will actually play with my kids. I want to be the mom who doesn't yell all the time and isn't just reacting. I don't like feeling overwhelmed. This doesn't feel good. And so I knew all the things that I didn't want to do, but what I didn't know is how to shift it. And I will say, like, trying to shift that from the place of shame that I was is one really hard. So if you're feeling shame right now, just know you are not alone in your experience. You are not alone if you are the mom who yells at her kids. I still yell at my kids from time to time. It just doesn't happen very often. And I think that sometimes we get so caught up in this doesn't feel good. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what else to do. And we just react. And then after we react, we're like, well, that felt like shit. I didn't like that and I don't like the person that I am. And then we get really hard on ourselves. And what you need to know is that you do not have to be really hard on yourself. It is okay. And so just asking yourself here, how can you view you through a lens of love and compassion? How can you understand that you're doing the best that you can with what you have? And once that we become, this is my AAA framework, but once we become aware and then we accept. We have to accept. We have to come to a place of acceptance before we can truly make a shift. So once you just accept, like, hey, this is where I'm at, and it's okay. It's okay because I can choose to change. It's okay because I was doing the best that I could with what I knew how. And now I know that I get to do things differently. And we accept that. We stop judging ourselves. We stop being hard on ourselves. Now we can step into that new action, right? That AAA, the new action is the third piece to that. And what kind of mom do you want to be? And so, really sitting down and asking yourself, like, I think a lot of times these beliefs, these behaviors, these things that, like, the ways that we react come from how we were raised. And for me, I never stopped to reevaluate how I was doing things in my life. And maybe that's you. Maybe you haven't stopped to be like, oh, why doesn't life feel good right now? Why doesn't this feel good? And maybe you already know why it doesn't feel good. Maybe you already know that you yell at your kids and then you feel like shit after. And you're wanting to stop some of those behaviors. And this is where the breathwork method really came in for me. It was huge because it helped me shift everything within me. And a lot of times, I think what we don't understand is that the way that you are raised, the way that your mom raised you, the way that she parented you, the way that your dad parented you, they were doing the best they could with what they knew. And we carry that forward without truly realizing because it feels familiar, and familiar to our brain equals safe. And so we just keep going through the motions of life, never knowing why it doesn't feel good, why we don't enjoy it. And what it is because we're just going through the motions. We're just carrying forward what our parents taught us by their actions and their behaviors and their choices. And we never stopped to think that we could make our own. And so I'm here to tell you today, you can decide to do things differently. You can make a different choice for yourself. You can be that mom that you feel within you. And it's all about just making that decision. So deciding now, what kind of mom do you want to be? And when you really envision how that version shows up, how does she feel? How does she think? How does she talk to her kids? How does she interact with her kids? How does she interact with her partner? How does she take care of herself? How does she interact with herself? And this is everything that the breathwork method walks you through is we go deep. We go a lot deeper. I'm giving you the bite-sized pieces here, but when we're utilizing this breathwork method, we go a lot deeper in here because there's more to it than just shifting. There is releasing, there is getting your ego out of the way, removing those limiting beliefs and stories and all of that. But for now, I just want you to really think about how she feels, how she thinks, how she shows up, because you can absolutely become her. And this is my newest program that I have created. I think it has been years in the works and finally just like emerged through my last launch. My Becoming Her program is such a beautiful aspect because when we start to show up as the mom that we want to be, this carries over into all other aspects in our life. This isn't just about the mom being the mom you want to be. This is about how you take care of yourself, how you show up in your relationships, how you show up in friendships, how you show up as a daughter, how you show up as a mom, as a sister, as any relationship in your life is affected by who you are being. And this is why I created Becoming Her. I have had this, gosh, in the works. This has just been like years in the making of me reshaping myself, reshaping my identity and who I am. And then when I dove into the breathwork program, that is when I was cracked wide open. And that is when all of this came to be because I became her through that experience. And that is what I want for you. I want you to become the mom that you want to be, the woman that you want to be, live the life that you want to live, and take care of yourself in the way that you deserve. And so, if that is something for you, reach out. If you want a little taste of what breathwork is, that is in the show notes. There is a free integrative breathwork session that you can book with me. There is no pressure, it is completely free. And you're going to walk away feeling amazing from that. Integrative breathwork sessions are really good to have that energetic shift. The breathwork itself will be less than 10 minutes, and you are going to feel amazing after. So, if that is something that you are interested in, just book a free integrative breathwork session. And let's really start to help you shift, because I know that you believe you can change. You're just wondering how. How do I get started? How do I make these changes? And that is what I am here to help you do, is make those changes so that you show up as the mom and woman that you want to be, the one who lives the life that she wants to live, who takes care of herself in the way that you want to take care of yourself. Maybe you go get a pedicure every month. Maybe you go get your nails done or your hair done. You take time for yourself. You take quiet time away from the kids without the mom guilt. Like, think about how everything would feel when you do things for you and you are able to drop the mom guilt. That is what this program's all about. But I just really want to help you lean into what that feels like and know that it's absolutely possible for you, and that you already have this belief that there's like this other version of you inside and you just aren't quite sure how to get her out. This is it. The breathwork method, Becoming Her, it is going to help you. And so if that is something that you feel like you're feeling called to, then great, reach out. If you're like, I'm not sure, but this breathwork thing sounds interesting, reach out to me, book a free session. There is absolutely no pressure on my end. I'm just here to help you, and I will talk to you next time.